What is the orphan works problem in copyright law? Imagine finding an old photograph or a vintage sports clip, but no one knows who owns it. You want to use it, but the law makes that tricky. That's the orphan works problem in copyright law. It happens when the owner of a copyrighted work cannot be found or identified. These works are still protected by copyright laws, but because no one knows who owns them, using them becomes complicated. You might want to include a historic sports photo in a documentary or use a vintage song in a commercial, but if the rights holder is missing, you face a legal puzzle. Copyright protection begins automatically when a work is created and fixed in a tangible form. You don't need to register it for it to be protected. But if the owner is unknown, it's hard to get permission or a license to use the work. Normally, permission is needed, but with orphan works, that's impossible because the owner can't be contacted. This leaves creators and companies in a bind. They risk infringing copyright if they use the work without permission, even if they tried their best to find the owner. If the owner shows up later, the user could be sued and forced to pay damages. Locating the rights holder can be very costly and take a lot of time. Sometimes, even with a thorough search, the owner remains unknown. This discourages people from using valuable materials, especially in sports and entertainment. For example, old sports photographs or archival footage might be orphan works if the original creators or rights holders are no longer reachable. This limits access to historical content that could be important for documentaries, broadcasts, or merchandise. In most cases, using an orphan work without permission is considered copyright infringement. Some uses might qualify for fair use, like commentary or education, but these are limited and often don't cover commercial projects. There have been proposals to fix this problem, such as creating special licenses or registries for orphan works. But so far, laws tend to favor the rights holders, making it hard to fully resolve the issue. In the world of sports and entertainment, orphan works can slow down content creation. It becomes harder to license old footage or images, which can delay projects or increase legal risks. Rights owners are encouraged to register their works and keep clear records to prevent their works from becoming orphaned. Creators and companies need to weigh the risks carefully and consider alternatives, like using content with clear rights or relying on fair use cautiously. Overall, the orphan works problem is about balancing the rights of creators with the need for access to cultural and historical materials. It's a challenge that affects many areas, especially in the fast-moving worlds of sports and entertainment, where historical content is often a key part of storytelling and branding.